Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Women's Soccer Show. I'm Sara, and my co-host, Allie, is not here to do the introduction with me because they have a migraine. But luckily, we were able to record the episode before their migraine really kicked in, so you'll still get Allie in most of the rest of this episode. But right now, you've got me for this intro to this episode. So we've got a really great episode today. We're covering the NWSL Expansion news that dropped around San Francisco and Boston. And for that, we'll be joined by our NWSL correspondents, Tim and Chris. You know them. You love them. It was a fantastic chat. We've also got a really great interview with goalkeeper McKinley Crone, so stay tuned for that. And if you don't know who she is, you most certainly will after this episode and probably after this season of the NWSL. And finally, we have a really fun contest to highlight here. Our incredible partners at Total Football Analysis are giving away a full Women's Euros version Monopoly set and Women's Euros Top Trumps. So you can enter to win one of these items, and I'm going to tell you what you can do in order to win these items right now. So first, go to our socials, that's at the WOSO Show, and you will find a quiz. DM us with all of your quiz answers, and first place will win the Monopoly set, and second place will win the Top Trumps. Be sure to listen to this full episode because the quiz is going to be centered around this episode and previous episodes of this season, but mainly this episode. So if two people tie for first place, the tiebreaker is going to go to whoever submitted first. So listen to this episode, get into our socials, send us a DM, and you could get a free Women's Euros Monopoly set or Women's Euros Top Trumps. So get after it. All right, we are talking NWSL Expansion. Recently, news dropped out of the NWSL, although they haven't confirmed it yet, that the second expansion city for 2024 is going to be San Francisco, and Boston is going to enter the league, but at a later year. So we had Chris, Tim, the NWSL crew, on to talk all things NWSL Expansion. We are now here with our Allie, with Chris. And Tim, the NWSL crew, is here to talk about the news that the NWSL has not confirmed, but has been confirmed by a lot of credible sources. And most recently, by The Athletic with Meg Linehan, everybody's reported that the Bay Area is going to be getting a team in 2024, which means that Utah and the San Francisco, we'll just call it, are going to enter the league in 2024. Boston will get a team, but it will be at a later date, and that date has not been named. So we're here to talk all things expansion, reaction, everything. What were you going to say, Tim?
The Bay Area, so San Francisco and Utah entering. We have talked about this kind of a little bit briefly on like a different episode as well, but it's just really exciting. You know, it just shows that this league is so ready for this. Like there are so many players that are kind of not necessarily getting on rosters. They're not getting re-signed, you know, because there just isn't the space for players. We have the talent here. This just makes us more attractive overall. The Bay Area is a place that people want to live, which is hugely, hugely important. It's just really, really important for the league. You know, we've actually seen some other leagues around the world decrease in size over the last few years. I think France comes to mind specifically. And it's just really cool to see that the NWSL is prospering, is growing. The media deal is coming to an end. And so there's going to be a new media deal that's being brokered. And so this is all kind of part of the bigger picture, is that the league is growing and that new media deal is going to be huge. You have a $50 million buy-in from this San Francisco area group into the league. That's cash into the league's pocket. That's only going to go back to making everything better. We have the changes like VAR coming to the league this upcoming season, the first women's club league in the world to have VAR. So this is just all part of the bigger picture of the league growing in a really exciting way.
To piggyback on your point, I am excited about all of this growth and expansion because we do need it, and we need to grow the game. I personally am excited for Utah coming back because I was a Royals fan. When I came into the league, started watching it. I'm excited about that. I like it all. I like all the expansion. I want to lead with that before I say that California doesn't need another team.
Wow.
But I get
really lulled us in there, and then
I get
me
what
in the
face.
Just yanking the rug out from underneath us.
We talked about playing and preseason stuff, and I get, you know, you can play year round in California. That's the thing.
All right. Well, so here's the thing. I'm obviously very pro San Francisco. we've had this conversation many times, but I think we can all agree that like we're happy that the league expands. Tim really wanted a team in Canada. I really wanted a team in San Francisco. I would be on board with Atlanta, Nashville. Obviously, Boston's getting one. Canada would be awesome. I'm obviously biased as I sit here in my San Francisco 49ers sweatshirt because that is where I'm from. I will say 2 points, one of which we've already talked about, and I don't think we need to spend a lot of time on, but I think it does matter where we are right now in the NWSL, in the political climate of the country, that this is going to a state that's blue, that where abortion is legal, because these are women athletes and like that's it. Second, I am excited that this is going to owners that are former players, because we've seen a lot of teams being mismanaged, mishandled by people who just have the money and don't care about the players' welfare. To have that security, like obviously not every former player is like a great human being, but it's nice to have the security of knowing that, hey, this team is going to be run by people who know what it's like to be in their shoes, and some of whom have actually played in the NWSL when it first started. Like they saw this league from multiple angles, and that's really exciting to me. I do want to talk about, and I know, Tim, we've talked about this, how much this buy-in is for San Francisco and what Utah has to pay to get back into the league. And I just still am not like, I want to be sold. Maybe you guys can help me because I want to be sold on Utah coming back in because I loved the Royals. I really did. But right now, can't understand why you want Utah paying $2 million coming back in 2024 when you can have something like Boston paying $50 million. Utah, with all of this turmoil in the past, what is it? What are we adding? I know that there's a base there, so that's why I'll be on board because there's fans there and they deserve that. But other than that factor, I'm not understanding it.
Well, yeah, I completely agree with the monetary aspect, particularly. It is just like, it's great to have them. Yeah, absolutely. Like you guys have both mentioned, but like kind of like I believe I'm not super up to speed with like economics terms, but I think it's called like opportunity cost. Like what are you losing by not doing something else is kind of like the idea, like you're losing the potential of gaining $48 million more dollars. Yeah. That's a lot of money, like it's a big loss. It's not something to be taken lightly. And it's a promise that was made by someone who was forced out of a leadership role because of how awful they were, essentially. So like, it's hard because, yeah, these people were promised something, but they were promised this option by someone who's no longer here. Not only are they no longer here, but they're no longer here because they were disgracefully removed from their position. So it's like, is that agreement valid? It just gets so sticky in a legal perspective that, and it's hard because you don't want to burn the bridge. You want to respect the fan base, but it's just a really bad situation, and it's hard to not call it a loss for the league, unfortunately.
I kind of forgot that it was tied up in legality, and that's why.
I feel like, speaking for the city, though, I mean, like your facility is already there,
yeah,
and that infrastructure, doesn't have to be taken care of. You don't have to find a place for them to play. You do have a built-in fan base. I think those are net positives for the league. Their facility is good because that's where they had the first Challenge Cup. That it's capable, of holding the fans, and they have a built-in fan base. Is that enough to overcome the economic disparity? I don't know. I personally am excited, but none of the players I liked that played for Utah are coming back.
Right. So it feels like we have an answer, but I want just like a direct, tell me how you guys are feeling about a team in San Francisco.
I'm incredibly excited. Okay. I think it's a huge win for the league. I think that they are moving in the right direction. They have the base to seem like they know what they're doing, and hopefully they know how to do it right. You mentioned the benefit of former players. I do want to, I guess, throw caution to that, just because someone is a former player does not mean that they necessarily are going to do it right. We've seen it before. A great example is Amanda Cromwell. She's a former player, and she was relieved from her position due to retaliation on players. So it's not necessarily a home run, but I think overall this move is definitely a positive. And my only reservation is the stadium, but other than that, I think it's a slam dunk.
I am going to say that I am medium.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm excited that we're expanding. It honestly, like, of the options, like, I really didn't want one. What was the other option? Tampa was what they were throwing around.
Yeah, that was bad.
No thanks. There's no need for that.
No. Let's get Orlando up and running before we start.
Let's fix our Florida team that is garbage. For me personally, I just want a team that's a little bit closer to me so that I can see this league. Like, I want to go to games, but I have a 3-year-old, so I can't travel that far all the time. And people are like, well, go to Cary, go see North Carolina. That's still almost 6 hours away from where I live. Like, again, it's faster for me to go to like Georgia, to go to Atlanta. I could almost get a quicker flight to Orlando from where I live in Tennessee. So, like, I just want eyes on the league. So so that at some point I can go to a game without having to travel, everywhere. That would have to have 4 connecting flights to get to see a team that I want to see. So if San Francisco is going to get eyes on the league, then let's do it. Let's get this going. Because I want this league to continue to succeed and to excel, unlike other leagues that have happened in the past. So if this is what's going to do it, I'm fine with it. I really had no stake in the game in any of the cities, because none of them were close enough to me to actually care.
Okay, before we talk about stadiums, I do have a fun question here. What are these teams going to be called? Is Utah going to be the Royals? And what do you want for San Francisco to be?
Wouldn't Utah have to be the Royals? Isn't that part of the legality of, and is that tied up in the legality of the question of the $2 million buy-in?
If it's your choice, do you want them to come back as the Royals or not?
Yeah. Just do the Royals again. Built-in fan base, built-in jerseys. Just do the Royals.
Half of me is like, the Royals is a cool name, right? Like the idea is cool. That being said, I believe the naming rights and the branding is part of that package that those owners have now. So they already have that as like part of the soccer holdings group. It was like the stadium, the training facilities, that's all in the same like corporate umbrella that they have. But that being said, you can still change a name. Like, anyone can change a name anytime they want. So we'll see.
Here's my thing about San Francisco. They are not associated with the MLS team there. They may use the stadium, which we're about to talk about. But I do not want them to use the same colors.
How about, this is definitely a throwback to I believe the WOSO days. But like, what about like the cyber race?
Tim, I was just thinking about that. Somewhere in the
Because like that logo was fire. So cool.
Was so cool. I really regret.
Like the orange and purple.
Yep.
I'm not saying make orange and purple the colors of this team, but I'm just saying sick. That was a cool logo.
I had a black shirt with that Cyber Rays logo on it when I was little.
Well, I'm sold. There was a black one. Let's do it.
There you go. There you go. Black can be the main color with a little orange, a little purple. Now I just want them to be called the Cyber Rays. I just want a full circle moment.
Do you really think they're going to do that, though?
No, I don't.
No.
I'm just dreaming.
They're going to call them something goofy like the San Francisco Rush or something.
Oh, God.
Oh, God.
They are, because that was a video game in the 90s.
If they're the United, I swear to God, I will.
Oh, why?
I'm walking out.
I agree. I'm with you, Tim. We'll start a petition online to get 1 million signatures to force them to change their name if they decide.
Is that even
United.
A prospect? Who said that?
No, it's not.
That's just a thing in the States. I feel like where everyone wants to be united.
Yeah.
Like,
isn't the DC MLS team called DC United?
Yeah, DC United
for no reason.
Atlanta United.
It is.
So yeah. You know what else I don't like is when teams in the States put FC by their name. It's like, we don't call it football. Don't put football club after your name.
I'm okay with that because
I don't like it.
I don't
like it.
It's better than soccer. I don't know.
But don't put anything. Don't put a SC. Don't put an FC.
Well, Nashville does Nashville SC, and I don't like it. And I don't like it. The only teams that can do United are like English teams, because like that's why they are Newcastle United, because they literally united 2 Newcastle teams.
Yeah,
like
that's true.
So that makes sense. DC didn't unite anything.
All right, so my final question to pose or topic to pose is just around the stadium. And we've had this conversation. There hasn't been any news about where they would play. Obviously, everybody's speculating. I can't see a way in which they don't play in the Earthquake Stadium, but that is in San Jose. So it really then becomes like a location thing where are you trying to be in the city? Are you trying to be in San Francisco and be a San Francisco team? Or are you trying to be outside? And where do they see getting the most fans? And I get if that is in San Jose. It's a city, but it's definitely more suburban. That stadium is beautiful. I adore that stadium. The coolest thing about that stadium, if you don't know this already, is that they've stands around 3/4 of the field. And then one of the end lines has no stands. It's just a big bar with standing space. So you can go drink at the bar and watch the game. And it's just like you get into the stadium and you can go there. It's sick. Great stadium. But thoughts on stadium location, anything like that?
I guess, Sarah, this is more a question for you because you're more familiar with the area. I've only been to the San Francisco area one time. Did not have future NWSL expansion prospects on the brain at the time. Are there other options? Like, what are the other options? I think they're pretty filled in land wise. I don't think there's lots of open space to develop from what I can gather. Are there I hope we're beyond the point where we're looking towards like collegiate facilities. Like, I do not want that. Are there any other options?
Yeah, that's a great point about collegiate facilities. We were talking about the Cyber Rays. I saw the Cyber Rays play at University of San Francisco soccer field, which has maybe 30 seats. Like, I played my high school soccer games there, and I had seen the Cyber Rays play there. So we're not going to go there. No, there's really no other space. That's why I kind of go to the Earthquake Stadium. That's the only professional soccer stadium that exists. And there's no use to drop down to a college level because, Santa Clara, Stanford, they're all just as far from the city basically as San Jose. It's all kind of the same. There's no room in the city unless you want to play in, a baseball stadium.
Nope. What about the 49ers? Where do they play?
The 49ers play out in Santa Clara. They've moved. If their old stadium hadn't been torn down, that might have been a prospect. Unless they want to spend a ton of money building, they could technically build where the old 49er stadium is, but it's not a great area. There's no foot traffic. It's hard to get to. It wouldn't necessarily be a good idea. So when you think about it in that sense, there's really, you could play at the Oakland Coliseum where the Raiders used to play and where the A's play. But
like the baseball/football.
Let's get away from baseball fields, please.
Exactly.
There's a baseball/football?
Yeah,
American football for those who are.
Yeah, the Raiders and the A's used to share the Coliseum before the Raiders moved. So when you think about it that way, there's no other question. It's like you can share the Earthquake Stadium or you could go to a collegiate stadium. Let's not do that because this is a professional team and I don't think that they're going to be trying to lean that way. So play at the Earthquake Stadium or play there while you build your own stadium.
Lord knows Sky Blue did that enough for years.
Yeah, for real.
That was so bad.
That was awful.
Bad, yeah.
And actually, didn't the Spirit do that for a while too?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, the Spirit just announced though all of their games this year will be played at Audi Field.
Good,
100%. No more of whatever that trash heap was that they split to. I can't remember what it was called.
That was rough. I think logistically, Sarah, it's probably gonna have to be San Jose at first. Yeah. I don't love when MLS and NWSL teams share a stadium all the time. We saw how well that used to work out for when they were in Seattle.
It's also not cost effective. Like the NWSL team has to pay the MLS team to use that stadium. They're not linked. Spirit have to pay DC United for their stadium.
This always drives me crazy too. It's like I hate how that is the reality because that makes no sense to me. Those franchises did not pay for those stadiums. The city did. No. The city, the franchise paid maybe a partial, but then the city paid for the rest of it. Yeah. And then it becomes the franchises, and then this other franchise has to pay to use it, but then they don't. It is completely bizarre.
Capitalism, baby. Let me get that dark for a minute.
I mean, that's why you got to build. Like, I hope that they build their own stadium
Pull
somewhere.
a KC.
Yeah, exactly. That was going to be my point. Not everybody can be Kansas City and really invest like that, but I hope that they eventually will be able to.
Yeah.
It doesn't need to be big. It doesn't need to be like a 30,000. I mean, if they want to do that, great. But I believe KC's is maybe like 15,000 seats, I want to say range. Like, just do that. It's more important to have your own place that has really nice facilities for the players and a place that's accessible for fans. That's really what matters the most. You know, like if it's a place like in Chicago, for example, it's so hard to get to where the Red Stars play. It's miserable. It's horrible. They don't own it, but they're the primary tenant of that facility, which is nice. And it's a professional setting, which is nice. But if the fans can't get there, does it even matter?
Well, on that note, you guys, it's been a wonderful NWSL crew reunion. We got a lot to talk about. I think that in the coming weeks, there's going to be a lot more to talk about. Preseason's up and running, and we're really starting to hit the road. So everybody keep your eye out for more NWSL crew content coming your way. Let's go around the world, over to Spain. Atletico Madrid continues to fall in the table with a tie versus Sevilla. They have now tied 4 of their last 5 games and fallen out of contention for third place. They now sit 10 points behind third place Real Madrid, while Levante sits in second, just 1 point ahead of Real Madrid. Barcelona continue to dominate, but don't have the lead that you would expect, sitting just 7 points above Levante. Over to Mexico, 4 games into the Clausura, and we have 5 teams tied in second place with 9 points. Monterrey, Tigres, Juarez, Guadalajara, and America all remain unbeaten. And finally, over to Germany. The Frauen Bundesliga restarts this weekend after pausing since December 11th. Wolfsburg sit at number 1, 5 points ahead of Bayern and 7 points ahead of Eintracht Frankfurt. Next weekend, Bayern and Eintracht Frankfurt will face off in a head-to-head.
Have you checked out Total Football Analysis yet? TotalFootballAnalysis.com provides researched analysis on loads of football games, including women's football. Want to know why Miedemar scores so many goals? Do you want to explore how City have turned it around this season? Head over to TotalFootballAnalysis.com and sign up to learn more about the beautiful game. We have a special discount for listeners of the Women's Soccer Show. At checkout, type WOSO10 to get a full year for €10. That's €40 off the yearly subscription. Head over to TotalFootballAnalysis.com and type WOSO10 at checkout.
We had the pleasure this week of being joined by McKinley Crone to talk all things soccer related. McKinley Crone is a goalkeeper who entered the 2023 NWSL draft, and although she did not get drafted, we talked to her all about the draft, all about her outstanding career at University of Alabama, and where she is now, because she did actually find herself in the NWSL despite not being selected in the draft. So please enjoy this fantastic interview with McKinley Crone, otherwise known as Mac.
We are joined by a very extra special guest. Her name is McKinley Crone. She's the goalkeeper for the University of Alabama and most recently entered the 2023 NWSL College Draft. And I have a lot of facts that Sara has wrote out for me. NCAA record holder in career goalkeeping minutes with 9,519.77.
Wow, you went specific there.
You wrote it! University of Alabama record in single season shutouts. University of Alabama record in single season wins and career wins. 2022 SEC all-time tournament team. Ladies and gentlemen, and all those in between, welcome to McKinley Crone, which we will be calling Mac throughout the interview.
Welcome. Thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me.
Now, how many of these have you been doing recently? Because I'm assuming it's a lot.
Recently, not a ton. So I'm excited to kind of get back into it. I was pretty involved in media at Alabama just because I have a social media I love being on my TikTok. So it was an easy way for me to be able to connect with fans. So I was pretty involved with media there.
I can't believe that in all of my research of you, I did not find your TikTok. I will be doing that after this interview. But let's we kind of want to start with just a basic background, because we've never gone to talk to you. Our listeners may not know kind of like your career and where it's going and where you are now. So let's kick it off with college, because interestingly, I feel like you're one of the first classes, first of all, to be coming out of college, having gone through the whole COVID year and navigating playing within the COVID year. And we know that you initially went to Oklahoma and transferred to Alabama. So what was your whole college journey with Oklahoma, Alabama, why you transferred, and how it's been playing within the COVID year? Because I know you started off in 2017, so there's been many years.
Right. So started college in 2017, played 2 years at Oklahoma, and then I had a knee injury. And so at that time, was really struggling being away from family. There were some disagreements that I was having with just myself, and like I didn't really want to let that continue to happen. And so I was like, okay, it's time for a change. And, decided I wanted to come closer to home. Came on my visit to Alabama, loved everything about it, from Wes and the coaches to the girls on the team. It was such a homey feel. And I know everybody says like, oh, it's a family, but like, I kind of really did get that feeling from them. Like they were asking questions about more than just soccer and school, about me. And I was like, okay, this is a place I want to be. And there was a potential for growth there. And that's what I wanted to be a part of. There are so many programs out there that are already historically very good. And I wanted to be part of a program that I could help change. And then COVID hit like a month and a half later.
Oh, no.
Yep. So didn't know anybody, didn't know the girls, was still hurt, and just kind of was like, well, this is not good. And obviously the world kind of shut down for a bit. And then we decided, we were going to play an SEC season in that fall. And so we played 8 games total that fall, plus an SEC tournament. And then they were going to evaluate what to do for the spring. I don't think it could have gone worse. Like we won 2 games. We continuously had people out for COVID, and it just felt like, gosh, like I know everybody's struggling with this right now, but it felt like we were getting the worst part of it. Then the spring came around, we got to play in a couple more games, and we decided as a team, like, yeah, it's time to change the culture here. And that fall, we made program history in winning the first ever NCAA game at Alabama. So prior to 2021, they had only made the tournament 3 times and had never won that first round. So it was a pretty big deal for us to get to win that. And we thought we had made it. We were like, yeah, this is great. Like we won a game. We ended up losing the next round to BYU, who went on to lose in the national championships. But we were like, yeah, this is great. Okay, cool. And then we had 2 amazing captains who were like, yeah, that's not it. We're not done. And they kind of brought me alongside of them and let me help be a leader on the team. And we really changed the culture of what Alabama soccer wanted to be. And it was, yeah, we're going to win a championship and we're going to compete. And it's going to be really hard to beat us every year.
That's awesome. I don't think you get to talk to somebody who's been a part of a culture shift from arriving to leaving. That's not something you can really read about. So that's really, I mean, and within the COVID year as well, this is a logistical thing. But Allie, for example, you have 5 years to play, 4 years of eligibility, right? Did they award you an extra year? Because I know you're able to play in the fall of 2022, right?
Right. So my 3rd season at Oklahoma, I had a knee injury. So I was given a red shirt for that. And then we were also given an extra COVID year, even though we played like, I think it was 15 or 16 games on that season, between the fall and the spring, we were still given a year. So it was really nice of the NCAA
That's nice that they scrapped that.
I tell everybody, I'm like, take the extra year. If they gave it to you, take it.
Yeah, that's really nice that they scrapped that. I feel like, I'm sure within your circle, COVID year is just like something that you don't really have to talk about because everybody's had that experience. But at least from the outside, none of us really know what the experience was in college in that COVID kind of bubble, but it couldn't really be a bubble.
It was tough. it was, I mean, obviously like COVID was tough on everybody, right? You not being able to see friends or family. For me personally, it was really hard because this was a brand new team to me. And since I didn't get to know them in the spring because the virus had hit so early on, this was 100% a brand new team and I couldn't get to know them off of the field. Like my only time getting to know them was when the ball was in the box and I'm asking them like, hey, what are you doing later? And everybody's like, nothing, because there's COVID and we're watching movies.
Right. Yeah, that's really hard.
So moving on to 2023, you entered the NWSL draft. It was a tough year for goalkeepers and very few got selected. What was it like to enter and what is it like for you next?
Yeah, I was really excited for the opportunity to enter the draft, especially coming off of a season where there was so much success. I was kind of riding on a high. I mean, I was upset. Like, I think anybody who isn't drafted is like, gosh, like, you know, am I wanted? Does a team want me? I know. So I let myself be sad for like 14 hours, 15 hours. And then I was like, all right, let's move on. What's next? You know, sat down with David, started talking like, okay, what are my options? Where can I go from here? And then maybe a week later, I think, not even, a couple teams reached out. Asking me to come in for camp. So I actually will be starting with the Orlando Pride for their preseason camp next week.
Awesome.
Oh, nice.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
That's so great. I love that you said that too, because we talk a lot on this show and especially like, you know, Erin, in talking to Erin, she was a walk-on quite a bit. We really like to highlight that there's so many other means rather than the like 4 rounds of the 12 team draft of the NWSL of getting to where you want to go. And players like Bethany Balser really are outspoken about it. So it's really nice to just give more space to that kind of story, because I think that's actually where the majority of people end up going those routes. It does seem like more players are entering the draft earlier on in their career. What are your thoughts on that? Do you have any for you personally or just as a whole?
Personally, I didn't get my full experience at Alabama. So for me, I was going to take all my years because I wanted to love every single bit of it. I loved the girls on the team and the coaches. And like I said, I just being in Tuscaloosa, I didn't want it to end. And so I was going to take every minute that I could being there. And so, but I think that if the opportunity presents itself and you know, they're a good enough player to do so, then great. I mean, I think a prime example of that is Michelle Cooper. She's an outstanding player. I mean, we were winning 2-0 and then in 5 minutes she's tied it up and I'm like, oh great, who's this girl? But no, I mean, like, she's somebody who is going to be able to compete in with that lineup. And I think it just depends on the player, you know, like, yes, your education is important. I firmly believe that. I think that the NCAA is a great way for young girls to continue to play and develop themselves and get their education, because ultimately soccer isn't going to pay the bills forever, for most people at least. Yeah. And so I think getting an education is extremely important and it allows you to continue playing, then great. But if the opportunity presents itself to move on and you have a good chance of making an impact, then, you know, you got to do what's best for you.
So we're going to start with our questions that we ask everybody. It's called Shirts of Our Lives, or as Sarah likes to call it, Jerseys of Our Lives. And we're talking about the football kit that you wear and what it means for you in certain stages of your soccer journey. So the first one we always ask is, what shirt symbolizes the very beginning of your football career? Did you have one of those like polyester,
yeah,
really, like yellow, or normally they're yellow or blue sort of?
I had a bright orange one. I decked myself out bright orange, like head to toe. Cleats were orange, shin guards, like you name it, I was in orange. Like, I can't believe I did it, because I went to 2 schools that hate orange. Like, how could I? Like, I went complete opposite. Like, Oklahoma hates Texas and Alabama hates Auburn and Tennessee. Like,
I feel like that's just the goalie shining through right away. You were
it was full on, like, it was bad. And it was like mismatch of like Nike and Adidas and like none of it was, just, I look back and I'm like, what was I wearing?
Were you a shin guards on top of the socks kind of girl?
Never.
Okay.
No,
I was not
goodness.
either.
I quickly, as soon as I found out that there were not straps on shin guards, I got rid of those things so quickly.
There are two types of people. There are those people, and then the ones who still have their like ankle guards, straps. It's one or the other.
Oh yeah.
What was the name of this all orange team?
I don't know, because it was like what I wore personally. So like, yeah.
This wasn't like your rec team that like won the league. This was just like, your personal style.
Was like, oh yeah, I went like, I'm very big on like matching. Like I have headband. So now it's just my headband.
Okay.
Like I am like Lulu headband always. And they like match each outfit. It's really a concern. I went through them recently and I was like, all right, I need to get rid of some of these. But yeah, when I was young, I was like, I had to have the put together kits because I was like, yeah, I have to look good. So
wow, it's like deeply entrenched. If I ever meet you in person, I'll make a note to not wear my Nike shoes and my Adidas pants because that happens a lot over here. All right. The next is, what shirt or jersey symbolizes the turning point in your soccer career?
There are two. Yeah, the first one was when I was in high school. I went through some ups and downs with just like personal decisions and wasn't really putting soccer and school in the forefront. I was putting, not great decision making and then soccer became the only thing I had. And so I was like, okay, guess this is what it's going to be. I either am going to invest in soccer or I'm, not going to college and going to be successful. So that was the first one. I don't remember what jersey it is. Maybe
that's
pink.
All right.
Pink was a go-to for me in high school. Pink's my favorite color. So
this is so fun because we've never done it with a keeper who has like differing jerseys from the rest of the team. So this is fun. It's just like colors that really stand out.
Yeah, no, colors were big, bright colors are my thing for sure. And then my next one was when I transferred to Alabama, I'd been number one all my life, and transferred to Alabama and I had to change my number. And so I picked 13 because that was my dad's number in sports growing up. And so 6 months later, number one opened up. And so it was kind of like, all right, I get to, and at that point I was not going to play after school. So for me, it was like, all right, I want to go out on a really high note. I get to wear my number the last time.
Yeah.
And I wanted to be at my best leaving. And then I realized after that, wait, I still love this sport. I'm not ready to walk away.
That's a really special moment. That's really great. You were just kind of done, kind of burnt out, feeling like this was the end of the road and you were happy about that and then that shifted.
Yeah. So I've had 2 knee surgeries.
Okay.
Just kind of was like, didn't necessarily love soccer. I mean, I had fun playing it. It was paying for my education, but I was like, okay, I don't need to play after school because I've done what I wanted to do. And then we played the 2021 season and I was like, yeah, I'm not done. I need to keep going. Like I've got to keep playing right now.
That's awesome. And that's also pink, or is that what you wear?
That one was
that number one.
That was black. Anything? Well, we had 4 colors at Alabama. So there was a black, a blue, a yellow, and a gray.
Final question. What shirt symbolizes your proudest moment or your biggest success in football?
When we won the Duke game this year, kind of showed everything about our team. We were up to nothing and, we knew we were good to go up, but then we had to show a little bit of grit and adversity had to go to overtime against them. And I think that kind of like encapsulates what our season was like. We've had games where we went down and had to come back, or we had to really fight. And one thing like we prided ourselves on was just that we were going to be this, like you had to battle against us. Like we were not going to just fall over any game. And so winning that game, I think, was one of the proudest moments I've had in college soccer. And my family was there to celebrate it. It was, I don't know if y'all know about the Alabama Auburn Iron Bowl.
I do, but Allie does not.
You're saying words at me.
It's probably like one of the biggest rivalries in the SEC and in the country. It's like a Manchester Derby kind of concept.
Right, okay.
And so it was football's Iron Bowl weekend, which is like a huge thing here. It's one of the biggest games of the year. And we sold out tickets before the game. And for reference, last year or in the 2021 season, we were maybe getting like 500 people at a game. We sold out at 2,000. And then the people who were turned away came and sat on the edges of the fences. And we had close to like 4,000 people there.
Oh my God.
It was like one of the coolest things to be a part of. Cool. And it was Thanksgiving week. So like to have all these people there, like who chose to come out and support women's soccer, it was like, wow, like I couldn't phrase like in the moment just how proud I was to have been a part of a team that the school wanted to support and the fans wanted to support. And Alabama is very much a football and basketball school. So to be part of a non-revenue or a smaller sport and see the success and have fans see that success was really cool.
That's really special. All right, Mac, thank you so much for joining us. This has been so much fun. Anybody who wants to go follow you, follow what you're doing as you're working out with the Orlando Pride and as your career takes off, as it definitely will, where can they follow you? What's your TikTok? Where can I go?
My TikTok is Mac1020.
All right.
I'm pretty active on my TikTok. I try to post like once or twice a day. My Instagram is Mac_Crone1. There's 2 accounts. Heads up. You have to put the 1 or I won't see it. And then my Twitter, which I made when I was like 14, so don't judge me, is Mac_soccer1.
That's really cute. If it helps, my Twitter handle is @SuperTornado3 because my friend made it for me when we were in high school. And that had been my AIM screen name from when we were in middle school. And that's what it still is in my professional career.
I have no idea how to change it either. So I'm like, we're rolling with it. Hey, I'll remember it. It's definitely memorable.
All right, Mac, thank you so much for joining us. And for us here at the Women's Soccer Show, this has been McKinley Crone. And that is it for us here at the Women's Soccer Show. Don't forget to head over to our socials to find that quiz so you can enter to win one of the amazing prizes put up by our partners at Total Football Analysis. That is it for us here. Tune in next week, every Wednesday. This is the Women's Soccer Show. For Allie, I've been Sarah. Thanks, everybody. Good night.
This podcast was edited by Monkey Hill Media. Visit monkeyhillmedia.com for more information.